Hi, YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere. It's Mark with GeorgeToon.com. I'm back with another Monday morning mailbag. Get yourself a cup of coffee, kick back, relax. Let's talk a little wet shaving and a few other things. What do you got this morning? Well, I got a nice coffee this morning. Rather seasonal, but I still think it fits in this morning. Hang on. That's really, really nice. Yeah, very good. I've got 8 o'clock pumpkin spice coffee. I know, this is something that you would drink probably towards those cool autumn mornings and evenings, something like that. And it's spring here now, but you know, it was 40 degrees this morning, so it still fit in very, very nicely. And right now, this time of year, into March, beginning of April, the weather is so changeable. One day we'll have a high of 70 degrees. The next day, it won't get above freezing, and we'll have snow. Really, my late brother, Jay, my oldest brother, was born on April 18th, and we always seem to have snow right around his birthday. You know, that one more snowfall before things finally warm up. So yeah, it's kind of changeable, but it was cool this morning, so I broke out the pumpkin spice. Very nice. Subtle spice, brown sugar, and sweet cream. Like this a lot. Check it out. And again, for cool mornings and cool evenings, nothing better than this. And we're using my Java Series coffee mug from Global Shave Clubs. Huh? Isn't that nice? Official shave mug. My thanks to Sheldon Quinn for sending that along. Really, really terrific. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning with your favorite mug. Yeah, this is just great. Yeah, really just had a great shave this morning. Just really terrific. Yeah, I shot video of it. That's coming up. I don't want to spoil it, but it was wonderful. It really was. And yeah, I'm trying other soaps. So let's just say it's a soap from around the world because a lot of viewers wanted me to kind of mix things up. And I'm glad they suggested that. Really, fantastic shave soap this morning. Really, really great. And I'm going to be editing that together. Got another one also from another part of the world. I'm editing that, and hopefully I'll get that this week. Again, no spoilers here. That one was really surprising too. But some great stuff out there. As I always say, if you're not doing the traditional wet shave, what are you waiting for? There is so much great stuff out there. And speaking of great stuff, we got some great stuff for this morning's Monday morning mailbag. And we're going to kick it off with a morning shaving tip. Okay, so this shaving tip comes from viewer Leslie Fitzer. And he writes, "Hi, Mark. Thanks for the Monday morning mailbag." Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Leslie. I appreciate it. A tip I always do when I've used my shaving brush and washed it out and dried it on the towel, I put it into the cardboard insert of a toilet roll. The brush then keeps its shape. Great source of information. Keep up the good work. Keep well and keep safe. Well, thanks very much for that tip, Leslie. I really do appreciate it. That is really a neat way of maintaining your shaving brush right after the shave. And it seems to me that that would work very well for natural hair brushes like a badger brush or a boar brush. That's that kind of thing. I think that a synthetic brush seems to hold its shape because it's not a natural hair. So there probably won't be any breakdown there. However, I still might use it with a synthetic brush just to see what happens. But thanks very much for that tip. Now, if any of the viewers out there do something similar or a variation thereof, please comment below and let us know. Do you use this tip with natural hair brushes or synthetic brushes? Let me know below. And Leslie, to say thank you, here is an original George sketch for you. And it's signed and dated. And I will send this to you post haste. All you have to do is email me your snail mail address. Email me at mondaymailbag@gmail.com, mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and you will get this sketch suitable for framing and hanging in your own shaving den, like viewer Rick Festa recently did. He sent me a picture of his George sketch that he framed up, and it's now in his shaving den, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much for passing that along, Rick. I am very flattered by that. That's really, really terrific. So if you too would like an original sketch that you can frame and hang in your shaving den like Rick and some other viewers have already done. Please just email me your shaving tip at Monday Mailbag, mondaymailbag@gmail.com. And if I use it on the Monday morning mailbag, I will send you an original George sketch suitable for framing and hanging up in your own shaving den. So thanks very much for that tip this morning, Leslie. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so it's that part of the show where we talk about previous topics. So let's go back for a refill. Okay, this morning's refill comments come from viewer Just a Fan, and he is commenting on a Monday morning mailbag topic back on February 15th, 2021, where we talked about bowl lathering, face lathering, building a lather in a scuttle, soaking the shaving brush, those kinds of things. And he shares some comments in his routine. And he says, many times the brushes may be pre-soaked, and I don't like the idea of taking a wet brush into my CK6, cream, or fat soaps. Potential for overloading. Well, let me stop you right there. Here's my John from Phoenix Shaving, and this is a beautiful scent. And as you can see, I'm doing a face lather, and I am loading a wet brush right into there. Of course, I let this dry thoroughly before I put the lid back on. But scooping it out and putting it into a shaving bowl or a scuttle is a way of avoiding all that moisture buildup in there. I mean, then you can just kind of put the lid back on right away. And as far as potential for overloading, I always overload. If you watch my videos here, and especially when I'm using Formula CK6 right there in any of the shaving soaps that I have, I tend to overload. Even with my tallow-based soaps, I really, really do load the brush up. It's because I don't want to get caught short while I'm doing a video review on camera. I want plenty of lather in the brush. And I guess it's just become habit with me. And yeah, you might burn through soap a little more quickly, but you know what? You can always buy more. and if you're like me and you've accumulated some shave soaps, well, it's not going to burn through as quickly. You're going to be shifting soaps around. That sort of thing. But he goes on to say, I probably overload with the almond-sized scoops anyway. Yeah, scooping it out and putting it in a separate bowl or scuttle, yeah, I tend to overload as well. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. No harm, no foul. The solid glycerin pucks, though, I could brush in the puck and move the lather to the scuttle. Yeah, glycerin soaps are a little different. They're a little harder, a little more dense. I've got a few right here. This one comes from Taconic shaving soap. Let me show you this one right here. It's got this kind of look right here. Yeah, it's kind of a harder, denser kind of soap. Different kind of lather, a good lather. I know that during my shave, I'll add a little more water while I'm face lathering. Of course, yeah, you could load this and, build a lather, load the brush, and then build a lather in a container, in a shaving bowl or a scuttle. I don't know if this is one that you would scrape out per se because it's so hard and dense. You could, but I think just loading it from a brush and then moving it to a scuttle or a shaving bowl, probably the best way to go with it. Here's a TRA. Got this from Jim from Northfield. This is a great deal. I bought some extras as well. This is eBay, I think, was like 2 pucks for like $6, $7, something like that. You can see I've used quite a bit of it. Great honey lemon scent also. Another really good glycerin-based soap that I like to use. And all these glycerin soaps I'm showing you all perform similarly. This one comes from Cardingham and Killigrew. This was a Christmas gift from my nephew, his wife, and kids. And you can see it right there. Let me pull it out there. And there it is right there. And again, it's very dense. I don't think this is something you would scrape or scoop and put into a shaving bowl or a scuttle. You would just leave it in there and load the brush and then move the brush over to the container or do a face lather. And I tend to face lather with all of these. I like using scuttles. I like using shaving bowls. But if you watch my channel, mostly I'm doing face lathering. He goes on to talk about a scuttle. I put boiling water in my scuttle to last the whole shave, but be careful, it gets hot and the scuttle is not that insulated. Soap breakdown may occur, but don't worry, a quick whip and you are back. Well, I use as you know, I use the travel scuttle from Phoenix Shaving. This is lightweight and it's polypropylene. And polypropylene has some really, really good heat retention properties. If you go to the product page, Doug Smythe talks all about this. And you can use boiling water in this. You can microwave the water in this. And the polypropylene and the hot water react a little differently. So from what I understand, you probably are not going to get that foaming action. I really haven't used boiling water in here. I haven't microwaved it, but the water coming out of my tap is very hot and I've never had any kind of problems with it. I like this shaving scuttle a lot. Again, lightweight, and when you put water in the inner chamber, it seems to be the perfect way to hold in your hand and build a lather. Really, really enjoy using this shaving scuttle. He goes on to say, my neck hairs grow sideways. I have yet to get a baby smooth shave on the neck. If I try, I get really red. The angles in my neck make it impossible for a side swipe without cuts or burn. This is where I think mapping your beard comes into play here. If you let your hair grow out, and this is just general for a lot of viewers out there that might be having similar problems, if you let your beard grow out a little bit and actually look at the direction that your hairs are growing, you'll know which way to go with the grain on your neck, and that might be very helpful. That might help alleviate the problem a little bit. I've also heard other wet shavers comment about having these kinds of problems, and they up the sharpness of the blade and the aggression of the razor, and that seemed to solve it too. You know what? Your mileage may vary. Just a couple of suggestions just to throw out to viewers there. And let me know in the comments below if you've done either of those. Mapping your beard and varying the way you shave sideways on your neck to make sure you're going with the grain and not against the grain, that sort of thing. And then he finishes up by saying, evening shaves for me. Yeah, some of us, because of our schedules, are doing evening shaves. Some of us are able to do morning shaves. Nothing better than a morning shave. As you know, I had a great shave this morning. Absolutely just wonderful. I think there's nothing better. But there are times when evening shaves work well also. And, it's all in what your schedule is. But either way, boy, I just love the process. And just shaving this way with a safety razor and a good quality soap, a good shaving brush, getting a good scuttle for a warm lather. I mean, I just love the entire process. It's just a great, great way to shave. So thanks very much for those comments, Just a Fan. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so this question comes from viewer Tim Whitcup via Facebook. And he posted this question in the Midwestern Wet Shavers group. And he allowed me to use it this morning for the Monday morning mailbag. And here's his question. Can you get just as close or good of a shave using a budget-friendly safety razor, say the Chieftain Jr., as a high-end razor, say the Rex Ambassador? It's a great question, Tim, and I think this is one that wet shavers and the wet shaving community have discussed and debated for quite a long time. And I think one of the great things about bargain razors is coming across that bargain razor for $8 or $10 that gives you an absolutely amazing shave. What a win! What a find! That sort of thing. And I think that's part of the attraction of trying different bargain razors, knowing that you didn't spend a lot of money for it, but wow, it gives you a great shave. Now, I've always regarded bargain razors as being kind of a roll of the dice, kind of winning the lottery, because here's my take on it. I don't know, or I don't believe, I'm assuming here, that there is as much quality control that goes into a lot of these bargain razors, like say the Weishi, which is a good razor, don't misunderstand me, but they mass produce these things. They probably make so many of these, they're probably just coming off the assembly line, that I think the inspection is, yeah, looks good, they throw it in a box and then they ship it. That's kind of what I think is at play here. I don't think the materials are very high end, And this is a design that has been around a long time, that's been copied from the classic Gillette Super Speeds. So they're not putting any work into research and development and designing a new looking razor, that kind of thing, which I think also adds to the low end bargain price of it. So yeah, I think that sort of thing comes into play. Whereas a high end razor, I think you're paying for a couple of different things here, several different things. Let's say the Copper Ascension razor from Phoenix Shaving. First of all, you're paying for quality materials. Then you're paying for CNC machining, precise CNC machining. I'm also thinking that you're probably paying for some research and development and design work on this. I mean, have you seen any other razors like this out there? You're also paying for quality control and inspection to make sure that every single razor going out the door, is to those specifications. That's kind of what I'm thinking, whether it be this Copper Ascension or whether it be the Envoy from Rex Supply via the Razor Emporium. Even the Vikings blade razors, like this Emperor adjustable razor here. This is a very unique design. There's probably some cost in research and development and designing this that go into that. You're also paying for that as well. Then, they decide to change up the design a little bit and make something shorter like this. Yeah, there you go. There's some additional research and design work that go into this. And of course, again, the quality control, making sure that everything is right on the money. And I think that a lot of these high-end razors, as they're being inspected, as they're being looked at, I think the manufacturers are making sure that the 5th razor is the same as the 50th razor, is the same as the 100th razor, is the same as the 500th razor, that sort of thing. Whereas I think the bargain razors, there's a range. There's a range that they're going to fall into. It doesn't have to be as tight, doesn't have to be as precise. Not to say it's a bad shave or a bad shaver or a bad razor. It's just that I think that the one I have might be a little milder than the one you have. That's all I'm saying. So there might be a range there. There might be a wider area of slop, so to speak. Not as precise. The tolerances might not be as tight. That sort of thing. That's kind of the way I look at it. What do you think? I'd really be interested in hearing your comments regarding this. Also, when you look at vintage razors, look at the Gillette Fat Boy here. This is now regarded as a high-end razor. I mean, I got this one from Jim from Northfield. Thanks again, Jim. Really do appreciate it. But if you go up to eBay, resellers are selling these for, what, $100, $150, $200, $250, depending on the condition, because they know that the wet shaving community really prizes these razors, really want these razors. And they're terrific razors. And I think the quality control and the materials used on these back in the day fit the definition of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a high-end razor. And if you look at the cost of this razor too, I guess my question is, back in the late 50s, early 60s, this was probably $2.50, something like that, which translates to about $20, $25, something like that in $21. Now, back in the day, was that a lot of money back then? I'm thinking that maybe a couple of bucks for a razor probably was a lot of money. I would think $5 for a razor was an astronomical amount of money. That would really be high end, but I think maybe this was approaching high end at say $2.50. I could be wrong. What do you think? But I think this fits into the definition of a high-end razor because by today's standards, quality materials, really good quality control. Each of these is going to shave the same. I mean, I've got a Fat Boy, you got a Fat Boy, and chances are they're going to shave the same. That's what I'm saying. The quality control, there was that consistency of quality control. And I think that's what we're paying for today when we buy a high-end razor. A consistency and quality control so that someone who buys a 20th razor it's going to shave just as well and the same as someone who buys the 500th razor. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And of course, quality materials, design, research and development, All those things come into play. And I think that's what you're paying for when you're selecting or when you're deciding to purchase a high-end razor. Whereas some of the bargain razors, not so much. That's what I'm saying. I think as the price increases, you're going to get a little more care in regards to the manufacturer of that razor. I think that's what I'm saying. So as soon as you start getting into the $25, $30, $35, $40 range, there's going to be more care. There's going to be more concern, more quality control, that sort of thing. But when you're down in the $8 to $10 range, not so much. So is a bargain razor going to give you as good a shave as a high-end razor? Well, again, it's consistency. That's what I'm saying. You may get that one razor where everything falls into place and wow, I spent $10 for this and it shaves just as well as a $100 razor. Well, hey, you know what? Lucky you. But more often than not, because of that wide area of quality control is what I'm saying is, you may not get one that shaves as well as a high-end razor. Whereas with high-end razors, because of the consistent quality control, the tight tolerances, the precise machining, that sort of thing, you know what you're getting. I guess the old saying is, you get what you pay for. But every once in a while, yes, every once in a while, you may hit on that bargain razor where everything aligned, the planets aligned, and you might get that one out of the package where, wow, everything was right on the money. So I think that's kind of what's at play here. What do you think? Please let me know. Comment below. Really would be interested in what you think about this. And Tim, great question. Thank you very much for submitting it and allowing me to use it this morning on the Monday Morning Mailbag. Really do appreciate it. Okay, so this next question comes from a viewer named Neil, all the way from Sydney, Australia. And he writes, Dear Mark, big hello from Sydney down under. Huge fan who watches every Monday your great Monday Mailbag videos on YouTube, along with many others that you record. Your honesty is refreshing and the product advice is above and beyond a big thank you. I have recently got into wet shaving, both myself and my wife, and we both love it. I have purchased from the USA a 1959 Fat Boy, which should be arriving in the next few weeks. Could you please speak out about the differences between the Phoenix Artisan soaps and the Sterling soaps? Also, are you able to do a side-by-side shave showdown between the PAA soap and the Sterling soap? Using a Fat Boy so I can choose the right product to go with the new razor. Which scent from either of those would you recommend to purchase as your personal favorites? Many thanks and looking forward to your response and your Monday morning mailbag video. Neil. Wow, Neil, thank you very much for the really, really kind comments. I really do appreciate it. A little bit to unpack here, but that's great. I appreciate all the great questions. Well, when it comes to the difference between Phoenix shaving soaps and Sterling shaving soaps, there's one definite difference in that the Sterling soaps primarily are tallow-based soaps and the Phoenix shave soaps are non-tallow-based soaps. Now, as Douglas Smythe has explained, I believe on a lot of his product pages, and I've also seen him talk about this during some of his Facebook streams, beef tallow was a very cheap ingredient used back in the day when folks were making soap, and it provided the kind of result that they wanted, a thick, luxurious kind of lather. And it was cheap. That's why they added it. Since then, there have been a lot of other ingredients that give you that same kind of rich, luxurious lather. And those are the kind of ingredients that Phoenix Shaving has incorporated into their product. Doug has done a lot of research in the different ingredients that will give a really great, wonderful lather. And one of the things that the one formula that he has is called Formula CK6, right there, if you can see that. And this is wonderful. This has some really wonderful ingredients that give a really rich, thick, luxurious lather. And as Mantic59 has said, and I have to attribute to him because he's the one who said it first, the lather just explodes off the brush. I find that to be very, very true. which is why I tend to buy all of my shave soaps from Phoenix Shaving in formula CK6. Now, their original Crown King formula is very, very good, and I've purchased some of those as well. Sterling shave soap is very good. These are really terrific performers. Even though they're tallow-based, and I have found the main difference between the tallow-based soaps and some of the non-tallow soaps, not only the difference between Sterling and Phoenix Shaving, but between something like a Tabak, which is tallow-based, and maybe a Paraso that is non-tallow-based, that sort of thing. The other difference I've noticed is that I tend to do a little bit of a longer brush load with tallow-based soaps. Non-tallow-based soaps, I tend to not have to load the brush as much. Certainly, when it comes to formula CK6, you don't need to really brush. You don't need to really do a long brush load. Just a few swirls and you've got it. However, having said that, I tend to overload my shaving brushes, especially when I'm doing these video reviews, just out of force of habit. I think that when I first started, now not what I think, what I'm trying to say is, when I first came back to the traditional wet shave, I think my bias was towards a tallow-based soap because Tabak was a game changer for me, and that was a tallow-based soap. And since then, I was tallow. Then I discovered some other shaving soaps that were non-tallow, like the Parasos and the Omegas, and Cella has a non-tallow soap out, and those kinds of soaps. And then I discovered artisan soaps, first Sterling, and then Phoenix Shaving. And Phoenix Shaving, with their non-tallow formulas, really opened my eyes to what is available out there. It really is personal preference, which you prefer, but I'm no longer a guy who says, yeah, tallow-based soaps. Whatever works, works. That's the way I look at it. And I have found Phoenix Shaving Formula CK6 to be really awesome performance. Sterling shave soaps, they're tallow-based soaps, really very, very good. Now, in talking about which scents I prefer on the Sterling line, I like all of the man scents, the Executive Man, the Sharp Dressed Man, the Mountain Man. These are all in the Creed Aventus kind of scent line, which I really, really enjoy. I also like their Barbershop scented shave soap. This has got a warm vanilla. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Just a classic barbershop scent. Really do enjoy this one a lot, a great deal. When it comes to shave soaps from Phoenix Shaving, love their barbershop scented line. Really, really terrific, like Cad, Diver Down, Hotel Cecil, Club Guy, all of those great classic barbershop scents that a lot of these shaving soaps are homages to. You can go up to the product pages and see which are which. This one happens to be an homage to the original barbershop, the original Barbasol barbershop scent. Really, oh yeah, that's terrific. And then they have some others out there that I really do enjoy. The John Frum, which is a bright musk. Future Fiction, which was the first one I used, absolutely wonderful. Another bright kind of shaving soap scent, really terrific. But that's kind of the differences that I see between the two soaps. Both very good. It's just a matter of personal preference. Do you want something tallow or something non-tallow? But I got to tell you, performance is key. And if the soap works for me, whether it's tallow or non-tallow, doesn't really matter. I mean, if there's great performance there, there's great performance there. Either one of them is going to give you good performance. I would just say that CK6, the brush load is, very minimal compared to some of the tallow-based soaps that I've used. That's kind of in a nutshell. And regarding the Fat Boy, yeah, you're going to love this razor. Absolutely spectacular razor. You're going to love it. These things were just made so well, and it's amazing that 60 plus years later, they're still giving great shaves. So really enjoy that. And it's a great pick of a razor. Really terrific. So thanks very much for sending me that really very kind and warm email, Neil. I really do appreciate it. Hello to you, your wife, and your entire family. down there in Sydney, Australia. Thanks very much again. Okay, so this next comment comes from viewer Keith Osmond, and he was commenting on my review of Granado shave soap. Now, this shave soap delivered a very light, frothy, yet slick lather. There wasn't rich and thick and creamy like most shave soaps I've reviewed on this channel, or what other wet shavers have experienced. Very, very light. I put it in the category of the super slick. Very, very light, but very, very slick. And Keith commented, that soap might be good with a cartridge razor, not thick enough to clog them up the way most soaps for wet shavers would. That's a very, very good point, and one that I overlooked, which is why I'm including this morning, because this was a very thin yet slick kind of shave soap. So if you use a cartridge razor, it might be a good choice for you. Now, let me show it to you here. Now, I've kind of repurposed this Future Fiction container from Phoenix Shaving, and that's where I put the soap just for storage. And here it is here, right here. It has a very light mint scent to it. And again, it came in this container here, and I'm just hung on to this container for identification purposes. But this is it right here, about the size of a small deck of cards, really, is what it is. And I used it both by rubbing it on my face and also loading it brush right onto the soap puck, thinking I was going to get this thick, creamy, rich lather, and it just didn't happen. It's a thin lather. But if you do use a cartridge razor, this might be a very, very good choice. Now, I've used this for both a face shave and a couple of head shaves, and it really, really worked well for a head shave. Now, I used an adjustable razor towards the mile end because whenever I try to use an aggressive razor for a head shave, I'll have a mishap, and I had one right here that is thankfully healed up. But lesson learned, I can't go really, really aggressive for a head shave. Milder razor and get something that is really, really slick, a good, slick kind of shaving soap. And this one really fit the bill for that. It's very, very nice and slick and very, very thin. And it will work well with a cartridge razor. And there are going to be those instances where maybe for purposes of time or convenience, whatever it is, I'll get a cartridge razor, whether it be a Mach 3 or the Defender, because I like to use razors that are 3 blades or less when doing a head shave. This will get the call. This will definitely get the call. Just run it up there like that, get the brush, work it in, and then get my cartridge razor and do my head shave that way. Now, I like using a safety razor to do my head shave. I find that that is probably the best way to do it. But if I'm going to be using like my Omni shaver or a cartridge razor, this will be a very, very good choice because of its thin lather, but yet having a really good amount of slickness. So that's something to consider. And as I say, I'm repurposing a Phoenix Shaving container here and kind of putting it in there like that. And that's where it's going to stay. And then I can kind of store it away once it's dry, that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks very much for that comment, Keith. I really do appreciate it. Well, we're not done with our discussion of Granado shave soap just yet. A couple of viewers from Brazil commented about the review on Granado shave soap, and they confirmed the consistency of the lather, and I just wanted to share that with you. Marcello Cesar Baiadini, I believe that's how it's pronounced. M-A-R-C-E-L-O, I think it's Marcello, and B-A-L-L-A-R-D-I-N-I. Baiardini, I think. If I messed up your name, please forgive me. But he wrote, "Good morning from Brazil. Granado has other amazing products, but the shaving soap is not one of them, at least for me. Nice minty scent, but it does not provide enough slickness or cushion. In any case, Mark, it's great that you are trying products from around the world. Have a nice day." Thank you very much for that. Again, your mileage may vary with any kind of shaving soap or shaving product. You may not have gotten the slickness from it. I really did get some slickness from it, but I agree with you on the cushion. There's no cushion there at all. It's very, very thin, but I found some good slickness from it. And as I said, I've used it for 2 head shaves. Going to use it for a 3rd head shave as well. I enjoy it as long as I'm using a milder razor. But that's really my general rule of thumb when I do head shaves anymore. Keep it on the mild side. So thank you very much. Now, Diego Navas, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Navas, Navas. He writes, hi, Mark. It's a problem that all mass-produced shaving soaps here in Brazil have. Dove, Nivea, and Granado shaving soaps all make a thin lather that dissipates. Cheers, Mark. Well, thanks again for confirming that, Diego. I really do appreciate it. Again, I'm enjoying using it as long as I know going in that it's going to have a thin yet slick kind of lather. I don't have any problem with that because I've used those kinds of shaving creams and shaving soaps in the past. And it's not in everyone's wheelhouse. I realize that. But I really do enjoy it as a nice change of pace. Again, this is why I say if you're not doing the traditional wet shave, what are you waiting for? There is so much out there and a wide variety of approaches. Soaps that give a really, really thick, rich, creamy lather and soaps that give something that's a little more thin, a little more slick. Really, really just a great way to shave. So check out the traditional wet shave because there's a lot of choices, not only here in the States, but from around the world, and this one from Brazil. So thank you very much to Marcelo and Diego in Brazil. I really do appreciate your comments and the fact that you tune in. Thank you so very much, and hello to everyone in Brazil. Maybe one of these days, if I'm lucky enough, I'll visit your country. Would love to see it. So thanks again for your comments. Really do appreciate it, gentlemen. Okay, so this next question comes from viewer Chris M. And he writes, any tips on spotting clone or knockoff razor blades? That's a great question. I've done a little bit of research on it. My research is going to be ongoing, and I invite the viewers to also comment below on this subject. One tip that I've picked up from just doing a little bit of online research is if you're buying from Amazon, take a good look at who the seller is. Amazon allows third-party sellers to come in to sell through them, as I understand it. So you have to kind of determine if you're buying a Gillette silver blue razor blade, and you know that if you look at the seller and the seller looks like he's coming out of, East Podunk, and you know that Gillette doesn't have a manufacturing facility in East Podunk, chances are pretty good it's a knockoff or a clone. It's that sort of approach that you have to take. So I would say if you're buying from Amazon, look at that third-party seller. Usually when you buy something like a Lord razor blade, let's say you buy Lord Platinum razor blades, you'll see that the seller is the Lord Razor Blade Company. There's a little bit of assurance there. So I would say if you're buying from Amazon or any of these other mass outlets, large online outlets, look and see who the seller is. It'll be listed there. And that'll give you a good indication whether or not it's the real McCoy or if it's somebody selling a knockoff or a clone, that sort of thing. That's one way. Now, I'm sure there are other tips and tricks that that come into play here, and I'll continue to do some research on this, and I invite the viewers, again, comment below if you've learned any methods or strategies for finding cloned or knocked off razor blades. Please pass those on. I think they would be very helpful and very useful to all the viewers. So thanks very much for that great question, Chris. Really do appreciate it. Okay, this next comment and question comes from viewer George McLean. And George writes, good day, Mark. Really enjoyed, as always, your Monday morning mailbag. Thank you very much, George. I really appreciate that. Couldn't agree more about PAA products. Their shave soaps, aftershaves, both liquid and Star Jelly, are terrific. Love your videos. The mailbag on Monday mornings, your recommendations and advice are much appreciated. Please keep up the good work. Have you ever reviewed TSE products? Would love to get your opinion on their shave soap. Please keep the great videos coming. most enjoyable. Thank you very much for that, George. That's really, really very, very nice. I appreciate that. This process, this channel, I learn a lot from viewers, just reading their comments, getting their emails. So there's a real give and take here, and I really appreciate the involvement of all the viewers and all their comments. Very, very helpful. You learn something, I learn something. It's an absolutely great relationship, which is why I love doing these videos and maintaining this channel. I learn so much from the viewers. So thank you to you and all the viewers out there. Thank you very, very much. And I agree with you. Phoenix Shaving is some great shave soaps. I love Formula CK6, and I got a new one. I'm gonna use it tomorrow morning. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna do a video review. I just got it the other day. Twee. Yeah, this is the Cary Grant scent. You know, it's the scent that was created for Cary Grant back in the middle 80s. And that is absolutely beautiful. And I got all the fixings with it, and I'm looking forward to using this. And yeah, it's just great stuff. I mean, again, the traditional wet shave is wonderful. There's so many great products out there. Now, regarding your question about TSE products, I have not used TSE products. I'm going to investigate it. I'm going to look at it. And again, that is the great thing about the traditional wet shave. There are so many things out there, so many great, great choices, from PAA to Sterling to TSE to Tabak, the Vikings blade, to Razor Emporium, Rex Supply. I mean, the list goes Merkur, Parker, Global Shave Club. There are so many great choices out there. Even the soaps I talked about from Brazil, Granado and some of the glycerin soaps. I mean, so many great, great choices out there. It's absolutely amazing. And it's just a wonderful and enjoyable way to shave. So really, as I say, again, if you're not doing the traditional wet shave, what are you waiting for? You'll find a razor, a soap, a brush, etc. that fits your skin type and your budget. All right, thanks very much for those really, really nice words, George. I'll look into TSE and hopefully something will turn up. Really do appreciate it. Hey, well, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below, let me know. Check out the Executive Shaving Company. Use the code MARK5. Check out my blog, georgetoon.com/blog, for my comics with George, other cartoons, other videos like this. I'm on Facebook. Check out my Facebook page. Check out Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements for some great, great shaving gear. Check out globalshave.club for some great, great shaving gear. Check out vikingsblade.com for some great shaving gear. Check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/markserady, where you'll find all the products I review in this channel, organized and categorized, so you can find everything in a snap very easily. I'll leave you with this laugh. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Make it a great week.